Hey guys, it's Kruger, and I'm here with Talk Games.
How's it going, guys? And today we're going to be going over the warehouses.
So let's get right into the video. So yeah, if we take a look at the surroundings according to the warehouses, we don't really specifically know where the warehouses would be, but I can imagine some of them being out in the wilderness, kind of like on a side road or so, since usually warehouses store a lot of stuff, and they store a lot of stuff from the factories that are usually not located inside the cities anymore. And like, what do you think about that, Talk Games?
Yeah, I think there's going to be, I think some houses scattered around like the map, maybe a couple clustered together with each other, but I think it's just at this point we don't even know like where they're going to spawn or where they're going to be. I think it's just up to where they think it's going to fit in with the map and the flow.
Yeah, that's probably right. And I would imagine like a warehouse would be a perfect example of a great base. You have, like, if you look at the current pictures we have, you don't really have that many windows. I mean, you could block them off with concrete walls that you could move around with a forklift, and otherwise you can try to see if you can blind them off with blinds and so. And you would have more than one escape for sure, and garage doors for cars, and I mean, it could really just come together all along. What do you think, man?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it just looks like the perfect place to defend. You got the garage doors for the vehicles, you got an exit. I think you even got a back room that you could escape out of, or maybe store some other stuff. And it's also a great place, as we saw in some devlogs, where maybe a ladder, a tent, maybe a couple spare vehicles are already there. Maybe a couple of crafting supplies, maybe some melee weapons. I don't know.
Yeah, I would imagine this being some sort of like a headquarter for a group or for some people. Like this would be their main base, and they would gather their stuff here, and then they would go out to scavenge more. But I mean, like, there's not a lot of stuff here that you can scavenge. Of course, you would have some essential tools that will be very nice to have, and you could probably have I don't know if there's a workbench or some stuff like that that could be found in this kind of warehouses. But I mean, usually there's a lot of stuff gathered in here. So, Talk Games, what do you think about the cons for the warehouses?
I don't know, honestly. I didn't really think of it. I couldn't really think of any cons at the moment. Maybe just somebody does know where you are, you're kind of trapped in literally a warehouse.
Yeah, like if a horde of zombies come along, you only have like 2 or 3 exits, which could be problematic if you don't do it right or execute the mission right. You could end up getting yourself killed, and I mean, I think it will be kind of easy to breach it as a player, but it will also be easily defendable since you would be able to move some stuff around that could help you out, and like you could move things around. And I believe that the warehouses look like the warehouse's interior look different from each warehouse. But like we have some footage of it, and most of the warehouses kind of look the same but have a different vibe to them. What do you think?
Yeah, some look smaller, some look like the ones we see right now are look bigger. They look like they could have a lot more loot, and they could also look like you can actually store vehicles in the actual warehouse. And I don't know, I feel like there's going to be a lot more of the tent or ladders, or the kind of loot that helps you get loot, or the type of tools that helps you get like good loot, like a ladder or maybe a tent or maybe some, whatever it may be. Because at this point, I mean, I don't really know what they could put in the actual warehouse's loot. Because I mean, what could they really put in there?
I mean, they could put in a workbench, and that would be essential for crafting stuff. But like overall, the cons would probably be it depends on how you would position your base around. Like, since you can move some of the objects, I would imagine that that would be the factor of how well you would be able to defend the place against others intruders. If you were able to breach doors, it's unconfirmed for now. I asked him about it, and he said it's unconfirmed for now. But if you were able to breach doors, and zombies were from both the exits, imagine if you could kick open a door, stun them, and like move the zombies a bit out of the way, so you can like take one out after one. That would be kind of awesome, and an essential use for this kind of place with not so many exits.
If it was possible to open the garage doors, for lack of a better word, to the warehouse, or like the loading dock doors from the outside, that'd be a big problem too, because as you see, there are probably 2, 3, maybe even 4 of those doors, and just think if they all opened up, it would leave you super exposed.
Yeah, exactly, but it also depends on from warehouse to warehouse, and I would imagine that you would have sort of remote, so you could control how many it would open, and I would imagine that would only be from the inside you can open it.
Yeah.
But that's unconfirmed for now, and we don't know that yet, and that's subject to change, of course, if that's the plan. But like, overall, our final thoughts are...
It's a good place, I think, especially if there's going to be a workbench in there. It's going to be, again, an ideal place for people to go if they want to create something, craft something, for sure.
Yeah, and it will be easily defendable if you make the right choices, if we're allowed to do certain things, and if you have, of course, the right weapons on you. It could be easily defendable, and you would have some essential tools that you could be able to use in there, and just establish an easy base with not that many windows, probably some, but you can curtain them up, or you can put concrete walls up against the wall of the warehouse, and that would solve the problem really, and you would just have a perfect place overall. So yeah guys, I'll wrap it up for this video, and comment down below which one you want us to review next. And remember guys, plan accordingly.